Hey guys, XNGA Alpha here, or Alex, and today I have some more news regarding the co-op of Assassin's Creed Unity. It's not like major news, it just like clears up a couple of things. And the main thing is the fact that everyone is Arno. And if you don't know, Arno is the name of the main character in Unity. He's the one with the dark blue navy robes in the trailer, and obviously the one who you see being played as in the demos. But yeah, originally it looked as though when you're playing with your friends, whoever's the host will be Arno, and then your other friends would appear as those other three assassins. But apparently that's not the case. On your screen, you will always be Arno, and your friends will appear as other assassins. Not necessarily the other three, but I'll get onto that eventually. However, on your friend's screen, they will appear to themselves as Arno, and they'll see you as... Well, I actually found that as a bit different to how I've written it here. So I'll explain it a bit more in detail in a little while. But an example of how this works is in Watch Dogs. Now, for those who don't know, the multiplayer in that, it's quite seamless the way that you get into games. And when you're playing it, you will always appear as Aiden, who's the main character. And say you're just playing around in free roam, and then someone comes into your game and starts hacking you. The person that's hacking you will appear to you as a random NPC, but on their screen, God, I'm getting tongue twisted. They will be Aiden, but will have hacked into you to try and get information back or something, if that makes sense. Essentially, it's just a case of whoever. Well, on your screen, you'll always be the main character. It's best to keep it as simple as that rather than trying to complicate it like I'm doing now. But what this means for Unity is that Watch Dogs... It's been said by a couple of people that Watch Dogs might have been just like a testing ground for new features for Ubisoft to use in their games. Because the stealth, the mobility, and the multiplayer stuff that we've seen in Watch Dogs seems to be cropping up in Assassin's Creed Unity. So, I mean, it's possible that there might be more influences from Watch Dogs in Unity, but we'll have to wait and see, because quite frankly I can't think of much of the stuff from Watch Dogs that could be in it in terms of the gameplay, because obviously they won't be hacking or driving around or guns or all of that, unless of course like they incorporate that into the modern aspect, which there's sort of some info about, but I'll just touch on it at the end. And although it means that you'll only ever be playing as one character, it's talking about the co-op, of course. Although it means you'll only ever be playing as one character, it will allow you to feel like the main character. And in terms of gameplay, this does open up a lot of opportunities for customization and that, such as your weapons, appearance, and skills. Because it means that you're not just restricted to a single player style when you play your friends. You'll be able to play the way that you want to. So, for example, in the trailer, I'm not sure so much if you could see it in the demos, but for the cinematic trailer, there was one of the assassins like stood out because he seemed like the heavy guy. He had this axe, and I thought it'd be cool to play as that guy. But you know, if you weren't like fond of the axes, then it wouldn't really be much fun to you if you was being him. But this is sort of a good thing that you'll always be Arno, because it means if you want to use the axe, you can. If you don't have to. But again, you'll always be Arno. It's quite a complicated concept, really. But I'll talk more about the information I found out. So with there's a lot more customization in the game, rather than before, where you could, for a lot of the Ezio games and for Connor, it was mostly just like dyeing your outfit different colours. In Black Flag, it's a little different. It is not so much dyeing your outfit different colours. There's just a lot of different like preset outfits. But in this game, you're gonna be able to change like your hood, your full-on suit, your gauntlets, your gloves, your belt, your trousers, your boots. which is pretty cool. And each of those things will apparently have different skills tied to them. So, for example, there's a pair of trousers that you can get in by pre-ordering the game that actually improve your stealth capabilities. And this is quite a cool thing, combined with the fact that there's apparently is some sort of like upgrading skill system in the game. It will allow people to craft the assassin that they want to be, which is very cool. Personally, myself, I'm going to be going for like a stealthy assassin, but of course there'll be the option for someone who wants to say play as a tank in armor, if there's armor in the game, of course. But like if they want to be like this guy with a big axe, or say like a ranged assassin who focuses on using the hidden crossbow, and maybe if there is like a standalone crossbow or a regular like bow and arrow in the game, which I don't know yet. There's nothing been about that. But yeah, so it'll allow you to play the way that you want to be, and the way that this is going to transfer into the multiplayer is that in terms of you being Arno, apparently it will. You being Arno will. To you, your assassin will always have Arno's face, and your 3 friends you're playing as with will have just some generic French assassin's face. But how you and your friends look to each other depends on how you've customized Arno in the single player campaign. So it's not a case of you'll be restricted to, or like your friends will be restricted to appearing as one of the 3 other assassins. They will appear how they have customized Arno. They just won't have Arno's face, therefore they won't actually be Arno, if that makes sense. It's sort of a complicated thing, but I think it's a really cool thing that they're putting in for the co-op and multiplayer, I guess, for Unity. And yeah, I think this is quite an interesting thing, as it sort of suggests to me maybe, just maybe, they might work on some sort of like MMORPG or something, because I think that this sort of thing will work really well with the whole upgrading your skills and changing your outfits and that. And I think with something like that, it could help move Assassin's Creed into like the MMO world. So you can choose to play as an assassin or a Templar, and then depending on what side you choose, you can go after assassins as a Templar, and you know what I mean. And pretty much just the one other thing is that I noticed that in the trailers, each assassin only actually has 1 hidden blade on their left arm. Now this is an obvious departure from the double hidden blades that have been in every game since Assassin's Creed 2. And Assassin's Creed 1 has been off the top of my head, Assassin's Creed 1 has been the only game so far where you're restricted throughout the whole game to just having 1 hidden blade. I think you only had 1 hidden blade when you was Altair in Revelations, but I could be wrong. But I don't really mind this, because in Assassin's Creed 1, the countering, using the hidden blade in combat wasn't a very smart option, because for one, you couldn't attack with it, you could only counter, and even then, the countering, you had like, I think there was a time frame of less than a second to hit the X button when someone was attacking you, and there was no slowing down time for the counters like there is in Assassin's Creed 3 and Black Flag, which made it very challenging and meant that using a sword was probably a lot more sensible. So I think this wouldn't be a bad thing to put into the game. It could hopefully make the combat more challenging, unless of course they bring back the slow motion thing that happens when you counter that's been in the last 2 games. Either way, I think it's cool that they've decided to go back to the roots of 1 hidden blade, and the fact that you've now got 4 assassins, each with 1 hidden blade. You know, it's sort of, you've got 4 assassins with 1 hidden blade each, rather than just 2 hidden blades for 1 assassin. Now, obviously, when you're playing by yourself, you'll still only have that 1 hidden blade, but it means that those blades are sort of free to move around and do what they want. And so it's a case of like, rather than being restricted to only assassinating the guards that you can reach, you can now obviously say there's 2 guards on like, I don't know, the opposite side of a courtyard, you and a friend are on a roof, and you can both drop down. It just makes it easier. It's easier to explain in my head, but I'm sure you can understand what I mean. But that's about it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will speak to you later.